بازی اول چیه؟ For Spoken.
Way home frame must use her newfound magical abilities to traverse sprawling landscapes and battle monstrous creatures. This is a game with stunning visuals.
بگم
Given that it is
بعضی از
going to
این
be a next
بازی
generation
برای PS4 بعضی برای PS5 بعضی برای PC بعضی هم برای Xbox. ممکنه نینتندو سویچ هم باشه، یعنی کلا از تمام کنسولا هست.
exclusive. It'll be releasing on PlayStation 5 and PC on May 24th. I imagine that ultimately it'll be coming to Xbox platforms as well, but there is a limited timed exclusive on this game. It will be one of the next gen titles that is priced at $70, so that's a little bit of a bummer, but still this could be a fantastic new IP for Square Enix and the team over at Luminous Productions, again out May 24th, PC and PS5. Next up, going from a new IP to a very well-known IP, we have the late
اسکی یخ رو آب.
Next up, going from a new IP
اسکی
to a
با
very
یخ
well-known
روی
IP,
آب.
we have the latest game in the Sonic franchise, and that is Sonic Frontiers. Finally, we're getting a brand new big budget Sonic game.
سونیک
Sonic
چه
Frontiers,
پیشرفتی
based on the
کرده.
little that we've seen thus far, is looking fantastic. This one will be coming
سونیک بازی خیلی قدیمیه ها. سونیک از زمان آتاری هست تا الان. آتاری نه، فکر کنم نینتندو NES یا سوپر نینتندو تا الان هست.
of 2022, noting worlds will collide in Sonic the Hedgehog's newest adventure and experience like never before, accelerate to new heights and experience the thrill of high velocity open zone freedom, powerful enemies as you speed through the Starfall Islands landscapes brimming with dense forests, overflowing waterfalls, sizzling deserts, and more, so a variety of different locales.
سونیک جهان باز. ویو منظره رو ببین. ویو منظره رو ببین. این کل نقشه 100% نیست، این یه قسمتی از نقشه است. یعنی اگه سونیک بخواد اینجوری جهان باز باشه خیلی قشنگ میشه واقعا.
Nice to see Sonic gaining a lot of steam. The movies are doing well from a box office standpoint.
چه
We know that
منظره
there's going to
فانتزی
be a
خوشگلی
third
بهش
movie in
داده.
the movie franchise. Knuckles is getting a spin-off franchise, and now you have a big budget video game in Sonic Frontiers. Things are looking up for the Blue Hedgehog, and hopefully that momentum continues for the rest of the year and beyond. Next up, a game that is widely considered to be the most anticipated game of 2022. It's out next week. It is from Software's Elden Ring. Yes, Elden Ring is taking the Souls-like genre
بازی
into the open world. We are taking Dark Souls, dropping it in open world. Yes, it's a new IP, I guess you could call it an Elden Ring, but the new fantasy action RPG
Elden Ring.
guided by grace to brandish the power of the Elden Ring and become an Elden Lord in the lands between. I expect a lot of content
شبیه بازی دارک سولز. عجب بازی.
in 30-35 hours, but you can take your time and there's going to be so much content in this.
عاشق اینجور بازی اما این 100% از اون بازیه که شما رو واقعا به چالش میکشه. و چقدر بده که تو این کشور PS5 گرونه.
Take you quite a while. Yes, it's going to be difficult. Yes, it's going to be a bit challenging, but I imagine it's going to be incredibly rewarding as well. Elden Ring finally drops on February 25th. Next up, we have The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild 2. Now, the actual name of this game, we don't know yet. We
The
do
Legend
know a
of
Breath of the
Zelda.
Wild sequel is coming. When was the last time a Legend of Zelda game
فکر کنم
wasn't
واسه
that great? I
نینتندو
don't even
سویچه،
remember,
چون
but
اصلا
Breath of the
زلدا
Wild, I am
انحصاری
thinking is going to be
نینتندو
a
است.
very good game. I should say Breath of the Wild 2. Breath of the Wild 1 was obviously tremendous on the Nintendo Switch.
من به این بازی میگم دخترانه. من قبلا زلدا رو پلی دادم. زلدا واقعا دخترانه است، ولی اینجا گرافیک خیلی خوبی داشت. از این منظرهایی که حالت غروب دارن واقعا خوشم میاد. حالت غروب پاییزی.
It should be unveiled in a more prominent way here very soon, but we'll see how this one turns out. Hopefully it is out sometime in 2022, of course being a Nintendo Switch exclusive. Next up, Rocksteady is finally back after quite a while since the release of Batman Arkham Knight. They're swapping IPs and going to Suicide Squad. We got Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League. The game notes, don't be a hero, jump into the Suicide Squad, kill the Justice
Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League.
The genre-defying action-adventure third-person shooter in development from Rocksteady Studios, of course, the studio behind all of the Batman Arkham games outside of Arkham Origins.
این بازی
Rocksteady
یا
has done a terrific
داستانیه
job with those set of games,
یا
but now
4
they're diving
نفره
into something new. This
تو
is
یه
also
کنسوله.
going to be a next-generation exclusive. So far, you know, we don't know a ton about the game, but we have seen a little bit of footage, and it's looking pretty solid. And again, when you have a studio with the track record that a
چه
Rocksteady has,
FPS
you can
داره
be fairly
بازیش.
confident that Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League is going to turn out pretty well. It's going to have an online co-op aspect on top of that, so you'll be able to check this game out in multiplayer as well, scheduled for a release sometime in 2022. Next up, we have Nightingale, a shared world survival crafting game in an all-new fantasy
چیه Nightingale.
universe. This is one that doesn't seem to have a ton of buzz right now, but it notes open world realms immerse you in a mystical Victorian setting where the remnants of humanity are threatened by the dark magic and nightmarish creatures of the Fae. A shared world adventure alone or unite with other players, combine your strengths and skills and face the challenges of the realms together. Explore the realms and build
اینم
and
باید
craft.
بازی قشنگی
Hopefully the
باشه
game is due for
ولی
release
فکر
sometime.
نکنم این بازی سیر شوتر فقط داشته باشه. انگار یه بازی بقاه، سبک بقا.
in 2022. Next up, we have a game of an
Oh.
IP that I'm a huge fan of. Stalker is finally back with Stalker 2 Heart of
چه بازی تفنگی گرافیکی اسمش چیه؟ Hearts of Chernobyl.
Chernobyl. Now, hopefully the
Chernobyl.
NFT saga with this game is behind us. Hopefully it doesn't see any more delays. Initially, it was scheduled for a release in April, has been pushed back all the way into December, but if it gives it the time to really bake in the oven and be a high quality
اون
title and a
سرش چیه؟
hit
هیولا
perform for
کشیه؟
Stalker,
آدم
hey, I
کشیه؟
can wait as long as it needs. Stalker 2 Heart of Chernobyl notes, discover the vast Chernobyl exclusion zone, full of dangerous enemies, deadly anomalies, and powerful artifacts. Unveil your own epic story as you make your way to the heart of Chernobyl. Make your choices wisely as they will determine your fate.
فکر کنم این یه بازی ترسناک باشه احتمالاً. یک کم هم گیم پلی شبیه مترو اکسودوسه.
In the end, I imagine a very atmospheric
آره این شبیه مترو اکسودوسه.
post-apocalyptic open world game here that is going to be very engrossing. Hopefully from a narrative standpoint is quite strong as well. Again, the game is due out December 8th.
گرافیکش که عالیه ولی من با سر بازیایی که شبیه مترو اکسودوس باشه حال نمیکنم. نمیدونم چرا.
A tropical open world adventure, climb, glide, swim, and sail your boat around a beautiful archipelago in a physics-driven sandbox. Use Chia's special ability to take control of any animal or object you can find. Jam on your fully playable ukulele, a game inspired by New Caledonia. You've got a free climbing mechanic that lets you ascend anything in the world without restriction, including any physics-driven tree. Sail your customizable boat.
ولی گرافیک فانتزی قشنگی داره.
Reefs and shipwrecks. The game is scheduled for a release sometime soon. Once we have an official release window, I will update you guys. Next up, we have the return of Saints Row in the form of a bit of a reboot.
یه بازی گرافیک خیلی خوبه دیگه به اسم Saints Row. Saints Row من نسخه قدیمشو بازی نکردم ولی این یکی نسخه به نظر باحاله.
It's a slam dunk right out of the gate. You know, Saints Row was a franchise that, while I like Saints Row the 3rd and Saints Row 4, it was getting a little bit redundant, so seeing a bit of a refresh I think is going to be something healthy for the franchise going forward. The game is scheduled for release on August 23rd, and it notes, experience the biggest and best Saints Row playground ever created. The unique sprawling world of Santo Iso is the backdrop for a wild, larger-than-life sandbox of thrilling side hustles, criminal ventures, and blockbuster missions as you shoot, drive, and wingsuit your way to the top. Again, due for a release August 23rd. Next up, we have Gotham Knights, done by Warner Brothers Games Montreal. I mentioned how Rocksteady did all of
مارول
that.
اونجرز باشه، اسپایدرمن، نمیدونم بذار ببینم. Gotham Knights.
Arkham games outside of Arkham Origins. Well, who did Arkham Origins? It was in fact Warner Brothers Games
لباس مارول اونجرز رو پوشیده.
Batman is dead. A new expansive criminal underworld has swept
the
streets of Gotham City. It is now up to the Batman family, Batgirl, Nightwing, Red Hood, and Robin.
این بازی سبک اکشن مخفی کاری.
Open world action RPG set in the most dynamic and interactive Gotham City yet. Patrol Gotham's 5 distinct boroughs in solo play or with one other hero and drop in on criminal activity whenever you find it. The game notes solving mysteries that connect the darkest chapter in the city's history to defeating notorious villains in epic confrontations.
ترکیب
You must evolve
جادو
into the
و
new Dark Knight and save the streets from descent into chaos. The game is scheduled for
صبر
release
کن.
in 20.
گیم پلی شبیه اسپایدرمنه دقیقا، ولی کاراکتراش بتمن و چه میدونم مارول اونجرز و اینجور چیزاست. این سبک گیم پلی دقیقا شبیه اسپایدرمنه.
2022. A little bit of mystery surrounding the game as far as if it's going to hit 2022. I hope it does. I think it will. But yeah, hopefully we get an update on this game sooner rather than later. Next up, we have The Day Before. The Day Before is an open world MMO survival set in a deadly post-pandemic America overrun by flesh-hungry infected and survivors killing each other for food, weapons, and cars. Now, right away, when you look at this game, you're going to immediately think of a couple other games. The general consensus of what games
یوبیسافت زده بود اسمش یادم نیست.
Kind of easy to see that crossover, but that's not necessarily
شبیه
a bad
بازی
thing. Those are two pretty known IPs. The game itself looks like it could have a lot of buzz surrounding it, especially if it delivers with its release June 21st
Resident Evil یکم.
The console release should come sometime soon thereafter. Hopefully we do see this game up, running, and at a smooth state come 2022, June 21st for PC release, and hopefully again the console release isn't
گرافیک خوبی داره.
after that. Next up we have Ark 2.
زامبی کشی هم که بود.
این
چه بازیه؟ آرک 2.
Ark 2, next gen graphics, next gen online multiplayer sandbox, next gen logo, and next gen hype, as they did note with the announcement of the most popular multiplayer games that you'll come across, and now you've got a next generation title. I'm sure Ark 2 multiplayer.
این چهره رو دقت کنین. همون بازیگر سریال سریع و خشنه.
I'm sure Ark 2 will also have quite a bit of buzz
آوردنش تو این بازی.
level of excitement as we get closer to the release at some point in 2022. Next up, another game that's been a long time coming. This is one I've been looking forward to for quite a while, and that is Starfield. Starfield is the first new universe in 25 years from Bethesda Game Studios, the award-winning creators of The Elder Scrolls V, Skyrim, and Fallout 4. Yes, I know many of you want to hear more about The Elder Scrolls 6.
بازی اسمش استارفیلد.
You're looking at an open-world action adventure
گرافیکش
RPG,
عالیه.
and again, a brand new IP in
عالی.
this open-world vein that Bethesda is so well known for. It's a game that's been in development for a very, very long time. I remember hearing the announcement of the game, seeing the reveal, and then the rumors leading up to that reveal E3 all those years ago, and then it went silent for a while, and now we finally know the game is going to come 11/11/2022. Kind of funny because Skyrim actually came out 11/11/11, and now Starfield 11/11/22, but hopefully the game
شبیه بازی استار وارز جنگ ستارگان.
turns out well. Always want to see new IPs succeed, so we'll see how Starfield turns out at the end of the year. Next up, Dokkaevi. This is a game that I am incredibly excited about. This is
یه بازی فانتزی خیلی قشنگ، جهان بازم هست. اینم بهتون بگم تمام بازی که تا الان بهتون نشون دادم همه اوپن ورلد بوده. جهان باز.
Some great zert. We'll mention another game on this list that's gonna also be coming from Pearl Abyss, but Dokkaevi looks to be a title that is going to be akin to a
نور پردازش عالیه.
Pokemon, I think is what
نور پردازش واقعا عالیه.
Art style, we'll see how it turns out. You know, the
این بازی که مطمئنم سرگرمتون میکنه. یه بازی فانتزی خوشگل، نورپردازی عالی، داستانش نمیدونم چیه، باید حتما پلی بدم اینو.
This is the type of game that I think a lot of people just want to see on consoles, and it will be available on PS5, Xbox Series.
انگار یه اثر خاصه. انگار یه اثر جدیدیه. این یه بازی معمولی نیست که شبیه بازی‌های دیگه باشه.
XNS and Microsoft Windows PC. Next up, another Pearl Abyss game. Let's just mention this, Crimson Desert. Crimson Desert was a game that I think when everybody saw the trailer,
Crimson Desert.
From a technical standpoint. Now, I have a little bit
اگه عاشق فیلم‌های سری گیم آف ترونز باشید، عاشق این بازی میشید. این دقیقاً به همون سبکه. تیرکمون و شمشیر و سپر و گرافیکش هم که عالی.
PS4 and Xbox One. I
یه
just
کم
don't know
شبیه
how they're
آساسین
gonna
کریده.
condense this game on the PS4 and Xbox One, but we'll see. On the PS5 and Xbox Series and PC,
این
of
باید
course, high-end
بازی عالی
PCs, I
باشه.
think it's gonna be quite
یکی این، یکی
visually
بازی
appealing to look at.
قبلی.
Obviously, ultimately, the game has to be more than that, but I think it can develop into one of the more popular open-world action RPGs that we're gonna see in quite a while.
The
We don't know the
Crimson
release window for
Desert.
this yet, so let's cross our fingers for 2022.
اوپن
Next up,
ورلد
here's
هم
another game that
هست.
I've been looking forward to for a very long time, and that is Ulti-Zero Games' Lost Soul Aside. This game has been in development for quite a while, and I've been
یکی
looking forward to
چیه؟
it for a very long time. I mean,
Lost
when you
Soul
right away look at the
Aside.
gameplay, looks stylish, looks sleek,
این
the presentation
گیم
is
پلی
reminiscent of a
شبیه
Final Fantasy
دیویل
game,
مای
and then the
کرایه.
gameplay is reminiscent of a Devil May Cry game. You cross those two together, you're getting out of Lost Soul Aside. The game has been in development for a very, very
یه
long
کمی هم
time.
شبیه فاینال
Hopefully, it's
فانتزی.
going along smoothly and
ترکیبی
they're
از اون
making solid
دوتاه.
progress on the game, but I'm hoping to see it sometime either later this year, hopefully finally in 2023 we'll get
یکم
Lost Soul
جادوهاش
Aside, because I
تخیلیه.
know it's not a huge studio working on the game, but I know myself and many others have been really looking forward to the game. So
نه.
again, hopefully solid progress is being made.
این
Next up, we
فکر
have a
نکنم
brand new
بازی
game coming
باشه
from
که بخواد
Ubisoft,
یه
and that is
پلیر رو
Avatar
واقعا
Frontiers of
سرگرم کنه.
Pandora. Yes, Avatar is getting a big budget video game.
چه
Frontiers of
بازیه؟
Pandora is a first-person action adventure game built
آواتار.
using
فورتنایتر آف پندورا.
the latest iteration of the
این
Snowdrop engine and developed
دقیقاً
exclusively for the new generation of consoles and PC.
کپی فیلم
Frontiers of
آواتاره.
Pandora brings to life the
تمام
alluring
این
world of
حیوانات تو اون
Pandora
فیلم
with
بود.
all of its beauty and danger in an immersive open world experience.
بهتون بگم اگه فیلم آواتار 2009 رو ندیدید حتما ببینید. فیلمش خیلی قشنگه، عالیه. یه فیلم خاصی بوده که دقیقا این بازی هم شبیه همونه. اوپن ورلدن درستش کردن. هیچ وقت ببینید آواتار نتونسته بازی مثل فیلم خودش درست کنه، ولی این بازی فکر کنم بتونه اون چیزی که از اون فیلم انتظار داریم و دقیقا رو بازی پیاده کنه.
We don't know much about the game at this stage. We're still waiting on a full gameplay drop, but hopefully this is one that turns out pretty well. Wouldn't expect it for a
عالی.
little bit, but as a true next generation
گرافیکش
game, it is
عالیه.
going to be something to keep your eye on. Next up, we have a brand new sci-fi action FPS coming from Munfish. That is Atomic Heart, an open-world action RPG where events of which unfold in an alternate universe during the high noon of the
Atomic
Soviet
Heart.
Union. You're P3, a special KGB agent who is investigating the catastrophic event
یه
at facility
بازی
number
اول شخص
3826. A game that a lot of people have been looking forward to for quite a while. I believe it initially saw its announcement back in 2017. So you're talking 5 years since this game was revealed, but the game is scheduled for release later this year, so hopefully that finally happens. A lot of people draw resemblances to a BioShock, and obviously that immediately is going to get people excited. Looks a little gruesome,
شبیه
looks a little
بازی
bit more on the
BioShock
mature side. You've got
Infinite.
some gnarly looking creatures in this game as well, and looks like to be some exhilarating gameplay again. Hopefully we do see the game released by the end of 2022. Next up, how about a racing open world title? Test Drive Unlimited Solar Crown. Yeah, TDU
بازی
is
چه
back.
Test Drive Unlimited
coming back,
Solar
an open world
Crown.
driving and lifestyle experience in a real world location built on
Test
a
Drive خب
one-to-one scale.
مشخص یه بازی
Grab your keys
ماشینیه.
and live your life of luxury. Remember, social status is everything in the world of TDU. A driving and
Test
lifestyle
Drive
experience unlike any other. The brand new Test Drive Unlimited
از
keeps the
خیلی وقت
DNA
پیش
from the
پلی
first games
دادن.
and revamps
هیچ
it for
وقت
the
نسخه
modern era.
درست
You have
حسابی
the freedom to
نداشته.
progress however
همیشه
you like. The
آشغال
classic
بوده.
open championship concept returns as well. Live your best life, race, cruise, and hang out with your friends until the sun goes down and even after. You've got a variety of different marquee vehicles, and the game is scheduled for release September of 2022. Next up, we have the follow-up to The Forest in Sons of the Forest. This is a game that's been announced for quite a while,
بازی
but
چیه؟
we still don't know much
Sons
about
of
it.
the
Sons of the Forest is
Forest.
the anticipated
پسران
sequel
جنگل.
to the horror survival game, and we are
گرافیکش
expected to
خیلی
see the
قویه.
release
ولی
of
در
Sons
مورد
of the
چیه؟
Forest later this year. So we'll see how it turns out. I mean, this is one of those games that I think is gonna be one that just builds up a crazy amount of hype within the last 2 weeks before its release. That's just how I see it going down, because The Forest was incredibly popular again. Should be releasing
این
later.
از اون بازی عجیب غریبه که توی جنگلی موجودات عجیب غریب به طورت میخوره، اصلا نمیدونی کجا باید بری چی کار کنی. این 100% از اون بازی است. شبیه این بازی اخیر کوجیماه. اسمش چی بود؟ دد استرندینگ. این دقیقا شبیه همونه منتها اول
later
شخصه.
this year. Next up, we have Arcane Studios, the studio behind Dishonored and Prey. They are bringing a brand new IP in
چه
Redfall
بازیه؟
to Xbox Series X and S and PC. Now, this is a game that we
بازی
just got a
ردفال.
CG trailer for. It's an open world action adventure first person shooter. You can play it solo or you can play it cooperatively. You can play as 4 different characters, each with unique backgrounds and abilities. And the game is set in an island town of Redfall, Massachusetts. Arcane is an incredibly talented studio. The CG trailer from an ambiance
چیه
standpoint didn't blow me
خوناشامه؟
away. And yes, would I have liked to see a Dishonored 3? Would I have liked to see a Prey 2 or something like that? Sure, but a new IP can always be something of a surprise hit, and it's an incredibly talented studio in Arcane, and I think they are going to deliver on that front. Again, the game will be dropping summer of this year. Next up, we have a sci-fi open-world action RPG in Alex 2. Yes, Alex was an RPG that came out quite a while ago, but now we have the follow-up in Alex 2.
یکی
In this
بازی
sequel to the
اسمش
vintage
الکس
open-world
2.
RPG, Alex Jax must
الکس بازی سبک دارک سولز، گرافیکش یکم با اون فرق میکنه، یک کم فیزیک بازی باش فرق میکنه نسبت به دارک سولز. دارک سولز خب بازی سختریه نسبت به این، ولی اینم میتونه شما رو به سمت اون بازی هدایت کنه. یعنی اگه عاشق بازی دارک سولز هستید، این بازی هم دقیقاً تا حدودی نزدیک به اونه گیم پلیش.
once again unite the free people
من
of
اینو
the
یه
science
نسخه‌شو
fantasy world
پلی
of
دادم.
Magellan against a new threat, the Skyans, who want to change the face of the planet forever. Now, if you look at this game and you compare it to some of the other big budget open world titles, like if you compare it to a Crimson Desert, visually, is it as blow away? No, but I think from a narrative standpoint, it could be something good. And Piranha Bytes is one of those studios that have sneakily been one of the more notable RPG studios in terms of consistency. And hopefully with Alex 2, it just takes them to the next level. And THQ Nordic is the publisher, and they've been putting out a lot of stuff, so hopefully this falls in line as another quality release by them. March 1st is the drop date for Alex 2. Next up, we have Hogwarts Legacy. I know a lot of you guys are excited for this one. Hogwarts Legacy is an immersive open
بازی
world
بعدی
action RPG
هاگوارتس
set in the
آف
world first
لگسی.
introduced in the Harry
این
Potter
بازی
books. Now you
شبیه
can take
بازی
control
هری
of the
پاتره.
action
من اینو
and be
قبلا
the
گیم
center of your
پلیش رو
own
دیدم،
adventure in the wizarding
گیم
world.
پلی
Embark on a
نمایشی
journey through
ازش.
familiar and new locations
اگه
as you
عاشق
explore and
فیلم هری پاترید، اگه فیلمشو دیدید، اگه یا نسخه‌ای ازش رو بازی کردید، من تو پلی استیشن 1 بازی کردم. خب اون موقع برای خودش بازی بود. این تکمیلش میکنه، یعنی هم از لحاظ گرافیک هم از لحاظ داستان. من در موردش خوندم، یه بازی تمام عیاره، عالیه. ولی برای اینجور بازی 100% باید PS5 داشته باشید. اگه ندارید بس بیخیالش بشید بهتره.
discover fantastic beasts, customize your character and craft potions, master your spellcasting, upgrade talents, and become the wizard you want to be. Experience Hogwarts in the 1800s. Your character is a student who holds the key to an ancient secret that threatens to tear the wizarding world apart. All that comes from the official website. The game looks to be scheduled for a 2022 release window. Some of that has been put into question. Some people think it might be pushed to 2023, so we'll see how that turns out. Hopefully, whenever it does drop, we just hope it's a high quality title as an open world RPG. Next up, I do want to note No Man's Sky's Nintendo Switch release. Now,
بازی
yes, No Man's
نینتندو
Sky
سویچ
has
اسمش
been
چیه؟
out for a very long time, but this is like an
No Man
ever-present
No
game, an
Sky.
ever-evolving game. We just saw the release of No Man's Sky Sentinels, a free significant update to
من
the
هیچ
game.
وقت این نسخه رو، من
adding
قبلا نینتندو سویچ داشتم، هیچ وقت این نسخه رو پلی ندادم، ولی به نظر بازی جالبی
quite a
میاد.
bit of new
گرافیکش
content.
هم
Now
که
the game is going to be making the
فانتزیه.
transition to the Nintendo Switch. I think that's pretty exciting. It'll be interesting to see how high quality
میدونی
they can get.
چیه حقیقتش؟ اینه که بازیش انقدر کم حجم بود، من اصلا نرفتم سمتش. خب بازی که کم حجمه 100% بازی نیست که بخواد سرگرم کنه یا داستان طولانی داشته باشه. احتمال بازی بی گرافیک بوده، من واسه همین سمتش نرفتم. ولی انگار این یکی نسخه
Get
خاصیه.
No Man's Sky onto the Switch, but hey, they got The Witcher 3 on the Switch. Optimization is everything, and I think Hello Games is going to be able to do a pretty good job getting this game onto the Switch. Let's hope for the best, as it is dropping on the Switch later this year. And lastly, we have a brand new Star Ocean game coming from Square Enix, and Star Ocean: The Divine Force.
چه
Now,
بازیه؟
Star Ocean is a JRPG
Star
franchise
Ocean.
that I've been a fan of for a very, very long time. It does go without saying that the last couple of Star Ocean games haven't been a complete slam dunk in everyone's eyes. Star Ocean 4: The Last Hope, I did
Open
enjoy
world.
that game. Had some storytelling
گرافیکش
fumbles,
هم
and then Star Ocean
فانتزیه.
Integrity and Faithlessness, the last one.
تخیلیه.
That game was just not very good. Star Ocean: The Divine Force, however, looks to be a refresh on the franchise.
ولی کاراکترهای
Looks to have
بامزه داره. از
bigger
اینجا
open
کاراکترها خوشم
environments.
میاد.
Traversal seems to be done in
خیلی
an interesting way,
تخیلیه،
and
مثلا
hopefully from a narrative
مشخصه.
standpoint, it delivers as well. And Star Ocean, from a gameplay standpoint, more often than not, is pretty good. I love the gameplay of The Last Hope, so if they can build upon that, I think we're in for a pretty solid JRPG here. It's coming to PS4, PS5, Xbox Series, Xbox One, and PC sometime in 2022. And that is gonna do it for me. Again, we just ran
این
through a
بازی
bunch of
برای
open world
PS5 و PS4 100% میاد. و بازی آخر
titles. I'm sure there are more that are gonna be announced, more that are in development, and we'll do an updated video at some point. Maybe we'll do a video that's dedicated to a specific platform in the future as well. This is just running the gamut on a lot of the upcoming open world games.
اگه گیمر هستید، اگه عشق بازی دارید، امیدوارم هر چیزی که دوست دارید رو بتونید بخرید، بهش برسید. دمتون گرم. مرسی از اینکه ویدیو رو تماشا کردید. تا ویدیوی بعدی، فعلا.